Hey guys, welcome back. Coming to you this morning with I think disappointing news. The Mustangs have been dealt another blow. They're now making aero changes to the car. I personally don't agree with this, and here I am wearing a Holden Red Bull shirt. I think it's really poor, to be honest. When Holden dominated this sport, did we see the Holdens getting penalised? And it's not just the Mustangs that are dominating. We have to take a look at it. It's Shell V-Power that are dominating. They're on top of their game. They've got the best, as far as I'm concerned, the best engineer in the field working for them. Ludo Lacroix. It's not like you've got the Tickford Mustangs, are running 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th to the Shell V-Powers. They're not. They're struggling. So this is absolute. I can't understand it whatsoever. As I stated in the previous video, when the ZB was introduced last year with all the composite panels, then the field had to adjust to be in line with them. The ZB Commodore didn't get. The Holden didn't get penalised. It was everyone else had to jump or get in line with the ZB Commodore. I can't believe this. And personally, and sorry, I'm going to read the rule change. Sorry, I had it up on my phone. I'll read it for you. In a statement from Supercars, said the changes are being made based on race entitlements contract and Rule A 1.4 of the Supercars Operation Manual, and I'll read the rule. Rule A 1.4 spells out the championship's technical parity guidelines allow changes if a significant disparity exists between the competing cars. Like, guys, come on. Supercars bought this all on themselves as soon as they allowed the two-door Mustang into the competition. Okay, you go and get an XB or an XD, XC hardtop, XA, XB, XC hardtop. Go homologate, however you say it, and put it on and give it an aero package of today's standards and put it up against a four-door sedan of even today's standards, a four-door I bet you it wouldn't be far from beating it, if not beating it. A two-door car has, the center of gravity, the balance is always going to be better in the car. Everything is just much better. You don't have a B-pillar for crying out loud, I cannot understand, as I just said, Supercars have bought this on themselves by allowing a two-door car, or a coupe, whatever you want to call it, a two-door car into a four-door tin-top racing category. As soon as you've done that, parity's gone out the window. It's not parity. It's just, I can't understand for the life of me how even they thought this was going to work. Like I just said, you go and get an XA, an XB, an XC, put a proper aero package on that, an up-to-date aero package, and I'll bet you, drop a good chassis underneath, today's chassis, and it will compete against the Holden Commodore of today. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So why is the Ford Mustang getting penalised? They've built the car within the specifications, and I don't, that rule there. Well, if going by that rule there, why haven't the Fords and the Holdens been penalised to come back to the incumbent Nissan? That's what that rule stating. The Nissans have not been competitive for how many years now? Have we ever penalised the Holden Commodore and the Ford Falcon to go back to the incumbent Nissan Altima? No, we haven't. Not at all. Not at all. So, I question myself, why are these changes being made? Why? Well, I'll tell you why, guys. Come on, work it out yourselves. There's a conflict of interest between someone and someone else, and someone else doesn't like the Fords winning. It's simple as that. But it's pretty disgraceful, to be honest. Like I said, Ford's Mustang have built the car within the confines of the rules. They've built a fantastic car. Supercars opened this window up themselves by allowing a two-door car into the competition. It's as plain and simple as that. And they've fucking opened up a complete can of worms, because you're never going to have parity between a four-door car and a two-door car. And the other issue is you know, this is why the Holdens are struggling so much. The Holden Commodore is based on, you know, the whole suspension geometry, everything like that involved. The cars are set up, or built, not set up, they're built to run a twin spring. You know, Triple Eight have even come out and said that the car is built, designed for a twin spring. Now you don't have the twin spring, they're struggling hugely, which, you know, I think it's fantastic rule change, because it brings back, brings the expenditure of the sport down. You know, you get cars sliding around on an older tyre. You're seeing the drivers have to actually drive the car better instead of, you know, like, you know, go back a few years ago. I remember Jamie Whincup had a 1 minute lead over the rest of the field at Bathurst. Did Red Bull Racing get penalised back then? No, they didn't. You know, look at Sandown last year. You know, they blitzed the field. The Falcons were having to take wing off just to keep up with them down the straights, because the cars were so, you know, aerodynamically efficient, the Holden Commodores. As I stated in an earlier video, you know, they may produce the same amount of drag at a certain thing, but it's how they generate that drag is completely different. You know, the way the Ford does it, the way the Nissan does it, to the way the Holden does it, it's completely different. Completely different, you know. So you can't, you know, having this parity thing is, to me, it's not right. And as I've said in another earlier video, how can you have one supplier, being this supplier here, supplying half the field and then getting technical data and giving technical data as well as receiving it back? You know, as I said, MSR, I don't know whether they've got an alliance with Techno anymore, but Matt Stone Racing, who was the other one? You know, what's his name? Frosty and whatever their name is, Irwin Racing. You know, when you've got so many drivers giving technical feedback, like they said, like Van Gisbergen said, and I said in another video, thanks to Frosty's information at, where was it? Simmons Plains, they were able to be competitive. So without Frosty's information, or really Phil Keeds, because he's the genius, you know, they wouldn't have been competitive. And it's just, to me, that's not parity either, at all. At all. Information is king in this technical era, I guess you could call it. And when you got one team that's getting 2 times, 3 times the amount of information, I'm going to say 3 times the amount of information as, say, Dick Johnson Racing, for example, they've only got 2 cars, so that, you know, and you got Tickford Racing, they got 4 cars, but, you know, and as I've stated in the video, do 4-car teams or multiple cars, more than 2-car teams really work? I think it becomes too much of a workload, and you can't give, you know, you need 2 similar drivers that like the car pretty similar. If you get, you know, four drivers and you got one guy likes it like this, another guy likes it like this, another guy likes it to the next extreme over here, and, you know, your 4th driver might have it to another extreme. It becomes then too confusing. It's too much information. It's information overload. So, yeah, but anyway, we're losing point of the fact. We've lost topic here. Get back to, I cannot agree with it whatsoever. And, you know, guys, look, I'm in the Holden Red Bull shirt. I cannot agree with this. You know, it's not like it's, as I said, it's not like Tickford are coming in 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th behind the Shell V-Power team. It's just Shell V-Power Mustangs are doing an absolute incredible job. They've probably got the best man in pit lane, Ludo Lacroix, you know, the best engineer. And he's an aerodynamics engineer, we all know that. So, can't work it out. Guys, leave your comments down below. That's all I'm going to, you know, I'm just bringing you the news, what's going on. My views, I don't agree with it. I think it's pretty poor. As I've said, there's been years gone by where other teams, other manufacturers have streaked away and have dominated the sport, but they don't get penalised. But as soon as Ford's, it seems as soon as Ford gets, you know, a bit of dominance, they get penalised. Pretty sad, really. Pretty sad, you know. Pretty sad. And, you know, parity. We talk about parity, as I've just stated. You know, parity, and you got one team getting X amount of information, and yeah, that's not parity, guys. So anyway, leave your comments down below. Please hit subscribe, and we'll try and get this channel going bigger and better. As I said, I can only do what I can do at the moment, but I hope you guys will all jump on board, help me out, and we'll go from there. Cheers, guys. Have a good day.